Shyutam Namami Gajananam Namaste Vyasa Vishana Buddhim Pundaravindayatapatra Netram Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaham Jwalito Jnanamaya Pradipam Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yoginam Vishwanathakyam Asmaddata Swarupinam Atmalabhat Param Labham Bhakta Aram Nakadajana Gita Artha Grantakartaram Sri Gurum Pranamamyam Yogam Tah Pravishyame Vacham Dhritim Buddhim Prachodayat Om Namah Sababhyas Sabapatibhyascha Om Namah Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadyasya yatonmayaditagataschatteshvavidyasvarate Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavye Mushyanti Yatsuryalam Tejo Varimridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisham Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastagotam Satyam Param Dhimayi Dharma Pronjita Gaita Utra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavamatra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Munanam Srimad Bhagavate Maha Munikrite Kimma Parevishwaraham Sadyo Hridya Varidjare Trakritivishushrushvistakshanat Nigama Kalpataro Organitam Palam Shukamukadamrtapravasam Yutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muraho Rasika Bhuvibhavukaham Yam Prabrajantam Anupetam Apetakatyam Vipayano Virahakatara Jugavan Putreti Tanmayataya Tarvobhinetu Tam Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Om Namah Sababhyas Sabapatibhyascha Om Namaha For the past 4 days we have been doing Bhagavatam, which is the one given out in 7 days by Shuka Brahma to Parikshit, King Parikshit, the grandson of Arjuna. And this narration is repeated by Suta Pauranika as he is called, who is the narrator of all the Puranas. In fact, in every Purana you will see Suta Uvacha, that is how it will start. Suta is the person who remembers everything as he heard, just like that, fantastic memory. So he remembers it and narrates it to a large assemblage of rishis who have gathered at the beginning of Kali Yuga in order to pass the Kali Yuga in a worthwhile manner. So he is narrating it. So what we are reading is that narration as written out by Vyasa, and we are also having 2 different sources from which that Suta is quoting. Shuka himself, Shuka Brahman himself is quoting. One is a Vidura Maitreya Samvada discussion between Vidura and Maitreya Rishi. Maitreya Rishi who just knows the past, present and future. And at other times it is given out by Adishesha himself as Sankarshana to Narada or other rishis. So that also it has come that way. We are now in the 4th skanda, the beginning of the 4th skanda. In the last skanda we had Kapila Gita. Kardama and Devahuti were the first married couples in the most ritual manner, the first ever ritual marriage performed. And Lord made an avatar as their son, Kapila Vasudeva as he is called, Kapila Muni also as he is called. So Kapila teaches his own mother Devahuti an elaborate system of Vedanta, that is Kapila Gita, which we saw last time. After that we are in the 4th skanda. I have to go back to the genealogy here. Brahma, created Brahma, the body is separated into 2 parts, Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa. Swayambhu Manu, we are his descendants, and we are talking about his descendants here. Swayambhu Manu is the first person who started the procreation by biological methods in the whole history of mythology. Shatarupa and Swayambhu Manu, they had 5 issues: Priyavrata, Uttanapada, Ahuti, Devahuti, Prasuti. Devahuti's thing we saw. Then Priyavrata and Uttanapada, 2 sons, we will take later. Right now we are going to take the 5th issue, that is the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, that is called Prasuti. She was given in marriage to Daksha Prajapati. Daksha. There were 10 Prajapatis created by Brahma just by sheer willpower, and Daksha Prajapati is the 9th Prajapati. Narada is the 10th. Narada never married, therefore there were no issues. But the other 9 Prajapatis, from them all the entire population of the world has come out. That's the idea. So Daksha Prajapati was married to Prasuti. And Daksha Prajapati and Prasuti, I see. Okay, the line of Kardama Prajapati, line of Angiras. Okay. They had 9 daughters. No, they had what? They had 16 daughters. The whole purpose of their creation was to procreate and populate the world. So they had 16 daughters. 13 daughters were given in marriage to Dharmaraj, Yama. He is one of the creations by willpower from Brahma. So Dharmaraja married 13 daughters. What did I say? Swadha is another daughter. She was married to the Nitya Pitris. Nitya Pitris means that all the Pitris are personified in a set of people. They were always Nitya Pitris. In our Shraddha also we invoke them. So Nitya Pitris, so this way we will say in the Shraddha Homa, Swadha they will say. Instead of Swaha, they will say Swadha. Swaha is another daughter of Daksha and Prasuti. Swaha was married to Agni. That is why we say Agni is Swaha. For everything, whatever you put in Agni, you say Swaha. Swaha is the wife of Agni. By the way, have you ever met anybody whose name is Swaha? I have met one. They said suddenly, our daughter is named Swaha. I said, how is it you made Swaha? Yeah, that is the one name which has not been used anywhere in the world. I have a friend in Bangalore whose daughter is Swaha. Swaha, Swadha, but I have not seen Swadha anywhere. I am sure they will not like to do it, because Swadha means that is a Shraddha type of thing. Because in the Shraddha you use this Swadha very often. But Swadha was married to the Nitya Pitris. So the 15 are accounted for. 16th is Sati, Dakshayani, Sati, who was married to Lord Shiva. There is a story there. That is what we are going to do, part of it. Sati was married to Daksha. Before I take that, I have to dispose of one of those daughters, 13 daughters who were married to Dharmaraja. One of them was called Murti, a daughter. All of these things you can see in my genealogy on the website. Murti. This Murti and Dharmaraja, to them there appeared a Lord's avatar in the form of Nara Narayana. Nara and Narayana, twins. Nara and Narayana. They are supposed to be living still in Badrikashram. That is why Badrikashram is a famous place of pilgrimage. we go and revere that because Nara and Narayana, this Narayana had done and is doing tapas there still. For 1,000 years he did the tapas. 1,000 years. Sometimes they talk in terms of human years. Sometimes they talk in terms of Deva Varsha. That problem is a question of research. At what point they talk in this way, what point they talk of that way. I mean, you can do research and get a PhD out of that. That is because always there is a slur on that at that point. We don't know. But assuming that this is human years, even that it is formidable. 1,000 years he did the tapas. You know why? Because there was a asura called Sahasra Kavacha. Sahasra Kavacha. He is an asura. This, by the way, this particular story I am telling you for the next 5 minutes is not in this portion. It is there in the 11th skanda. I am borrowing it from there. It comes in a different context. And the 11th skanda. Sahasra Kavacha is an asura who had 1,000 kavachas. Kavacha is an armor, is a shield type of thing. So he had 1,000. And you know what boon he got from Brahma? And Brahma is the person who always gives boons just like that and regrets later. Or brings to the entire world into trouble. This is Brahma's contribution to the rest of the world, in spite of his creative work. Because he has to have some other work, and this is what he does. And so what happens? This Sahasra Kavacha was given the following boon. He will be killed only by that person who has done 1,000 years of tapas, simultaneously 1,000 years of fight with him. An impossible boon. 1,000 years of fight, he must be going on doing yuddha for 1,000 years with him, and he must also be doing tapas. Brahma said yes. So the Lord appeared as twins, Nara Narayana. Right? Narayana did 1,000 years of tapas, and Nara went on fighting with him. And so that is how that Sahasra Kavacha was destroyed finally. That point is there, but the whole point is Narayana did the tapas at Badrikashram, Badrik place. And that is why that place is sacred, because he is still sitting there. There are some avatars who are still living, like Kapila. Kapila Muni is still living in the northeast corner somewhere, Kamarupa, Assam, someplace. God knows where, but obviously you cannot see him. You cannot see him because this is all sukshma. In Kali Yuga you will not be able to see them, but again as soon as Krita Yuga comes, people will be able to see him. That's the idea. So Kapila is one such who is living, and Narayana, that twin avatar in Badri is still living. Like that there are certain other cases. On the other hand, Rama and Krishna and others have disappeared, have gone back. So that is the one point which I wanted to mention. Among the 13 daughters of who were given in marriage to Dharmaraja. You see, Bhagavatam emphasizes only those characters who have contributed something to the spiritual side of the whole thing. Maybe others have, but whatever they have written is only about that. There are so many other stories which is part of history or mythology which will not come here. So now we come to Daksha's daughter, Dakshayani. Sati is the name, who was married to Lord Shiva. Immediately Vidura asked the question of Maitreya. Maitreya is telling this and Shiva is repeating that. So Maitreya is being asked that. I have heard that Sati and Daksha and Shiva had a great quarrel and there was a great confrontation between them. What is it about? Why is it? Shiva, after all, is supposed to be the son-in-law of Daksha, and Daksha has given in marriage his own daughter to Shiva. How is it that they quarrel with each other? So Maitreya tells the whole story. Once upon a time, Daksha Prajapati did an elaborate yajna. All the rishis, all the Prajapatis, all the devas, everybody were invited. They were there. And large assembly, Yaga, Vedic Pandits, Bhrigu, all the Sapta Rishis and so on, the August assembly, starting from Brahma downwards. Everybody was there. You must imagine the scene where they are all seated already and Daksha Prajapati is entering. I don't know whether you have seen it in a movie. In the 1930s, one of the earliest Tamil movies was Daksha Yajna. They used to show this. I think I remember to have seen it as a boy, probably 8 years old or 9 years old. So like that. So it's a big assembly. So I am remembering that. That description is not here because it simply says when Daksha was walked in, everybody stood up, but Brahma and Shiva did not stand up. That's what they say. That's one sentence. Udateshtam sadasya aste sudishnebhyas sahagnayakam rite virincham sharvam cha tadbhasa kshipta chetanaha rite virincham sharvam cha. Virincha means Brahma, Sharva means Shiva. Except for these two, the entire audience stood up. And you can see in the movie, you can show all these beautifully, wonderfully, they did that. But I am sure in the other Puranas, this is done more elaborately. That is why the movie people take those things from any source they can have. So here it only says, except for these two people, the others stood up. This Daksha is, in spite of he is the son of Brahma, Manasika son, has been created for the purpose of and leading the world, rest of the world, and procreating, populating the world, and doing yaga, yajna, everything, upholding the Vedas, what have you. But his ego, his character was so bad that immediately he took this as a great insult and made a great lecture. Lecture to the entire audience. He simply abused Shiva like anything. Ayam tulokapalanam yashokno nirabhaksrabha sabbiracharita pantha yena stabdhena dushitaha. This fellow, that's how he starts, looking at Lord Shiva. Right? This fellow is stupid. He doesn't know even elementary culture, courtesy. I am his father-in-law, so I am as good as his father. He had not stood up, he had not greeted me. Grihitva mrikashabhachya panim markatalochanaha. Markatalochanaha, monkey-eyed. Markatalochanaha. He abuses him like anything. Grihitva mrikashabhachya panim markatalochanaha. Remember, Shuka is repeating all this. Therefore, we should hold that this is all perfect truth. Pratyutthanamiva viyodarhe vachapyakrita Pretavaseshu ghoreshu pretair bhuta ganair bhutaha. He is always surrounded by bhuta ganas, pretas. He lives in this smashan. Atat chukmattavan nagno vyupta kesho hasanrudam. Always his hair is loose. He is like a madman. He roams about in the smashan. Chita abha bhasmakrita snana. Always he wears the ashes of buried people, cremated people. Pretaksram yasti bhushana Shiva padesho shivo matto matta janapriya. Shiva means auspiciousness, but he is everything except auspiciousness. Shiva padesho shivo matto matta janapriya. Just because my father Brahma asked me to, I gave my daughter in marriage to him. I made a great mistake. Tasma uttha unma avanathaya, to this madman. Tasma unma avanathaya nashta shauchaya, who is totally impure. Nashta shauchaya durhide, of bad heart. Datta batamaya sadvi chodite parameshtina. So he insults him like that in public. So hereafter he shall not receive any bhaga, any part of the homa, havis, that is being done in any yajna. That is, in all the yajnas, there are things that goes to Indra Swaha, Agnaye Swaha, Varuna Swaha, like that. Namo Rudraya Pashupataye Swaha, it will go like that. Right? He says, he shall not receive it. From that day till today, therefore, we are doing this. That is, what he said was, the Deva Bhaga, the portions that go to the Devas will not reach him. Right? So that is the curse. he immediately gave to that. And even today, therefore, when we do Rudraya Pashupataye Swaha, they will immediately ask you, Apogos Prashya, touch the water and do this. So that the Rudra Homa and the other homas will not be mixed. This is a part of the ritual courtesy that we follow in the homa. Anyway, so he made this shapa, curse, and with all these insulting words, the audience were roused. There was Nandishwara sitting there. Nandikeshwara. He could not brook it. He stood up and gave a counter curse to Daksha. Daksha was a Brahmin in the sense that Prajapati, Brahmas, there. So he cursed all Brahmins, Nandishwara cursed all Brahmins, that they will always go begging for their food. They will crave for even little profits. I mean, they will roam about like that. You see, Buddhya Paravidhyainya Vismrutatmakati Pashu Srikamas Soswatitaram Daksho Basta Mukho Chirat. And he also said that this man Daksha will go with a goat's head. Will get slowly, he will lose his consciousness, he will lose his brain and get a goat's brain. Curse and counter curse. He has cursed all Brahmins. Bhrigu, the greatest of the rishis, stood up, who was doing the chief pandit work there. He was doing he stood up and said, you have cursed all the Brahmins, that is too bad. Just because one man said this, you did this, and therefore he also gave a counter curse. This is all detailed. At this point, Lord Shiva simply rose and walked out. And his ganas and everybody walked out. Finally, they did something of a finish for the homa. The homa is finished, but from that time, Daksha and Lord Shiva they were not on speaking terms. Years passed by. How many years? Thousands of years passed by. Remember, we are talking of Krita Yuga. In Krita Yuga, in Kali Yuga, you and I have 100 years, if God wills it, of life. Right? 100 years, human life. In Dwapara Yuga, the life was 1,000, 10 times. In Treta Yuga, another 10 times. What is that? 100,000. Right? Laksha. So Rama's time, which was in Krita Yuga, the life was 100,000. That is why you will see in all descriptions, Rama reigned for 10,000 years. How can he reign 10,000 years? But look at the life. Look at the life. Then, in Krita Yuga, the life was, I think I have made a mistake. How much? 10,000. 10,000. Rama's time it is 10,000. And then it was 100,000. One bag. So in this time, people were living 100,000 years. So thousands of years passed by, and then by that time, Brahma had made Daksha Prajapati the leader of all Prajapatis, because Daksha was scholarly, educated, like that. He was the favorite of Lord Brahma. So he was made the chief Prajapati, so to say, to oversee the rest of the work of the other Prajapatis. And in celebration of that, or perhaps he was gloated with that kind of honor and prestige, he conducted a universal yajna called Brihaspati Sava. Brihaspati Savam Nama Samarebhe Kratuttamam. The whole world was invited to that. But Shiva did not get the invitation, naturally. But Sati heard about it from the Gandharvas who were passing by, who were going there, and they were talking about it. You see, that Prajapati is doing a great yaga, so we are all going there. So she heard about it, so she comes to her husband and asks permission to go. O Lord, You are the creator of the whole world. Remember, Brahma is the creator. But Shiva is addressed as the creator, Vishnu is addressed as the creator. All three are one. This point has to be very clearly emphasized. This we very often forget. Vishnu, Shiva and Brahma, they all three are the one same absolute Godhead which works in three different ways. So she says, you are the creator of the whole world. You have created all the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. Therefore, the world is not new to you. Nothing is new to you. So you are not interested in going to the yajna. But I want to go to my father's place and to see you. It's a long time. Tatapyakam yoshida tattva vicchate. You see, I am after all a feminine mind. Tatapyakam yoshida tattva vicchate dinadidrakshe bhavameva vakshikim. And then she says, maybe you will say that we have not been invited, why should we go there? Anahuta apyabhiyante sauhradam bhartur guru deha kritascha ketanam. Bhartuhu guruhu deha kritascha ketanam. Sauhradam. To a friend, to the bharta's place, to a guru's place, to the father's place. One can go uninvited. One can go, her husband, a teacher or a father. Bhattud guru deha kritascha ketanam tanme prasidedam amartya vanchitam kartum bhavan karuniko batarghati tvayatmano dehamadabhrachakrusha nirupita manu mriganaya chitaha. You have taken half of my body. We are one. And therefore you have done the great, you have been greatly compassionate towards me. So I am sure you will appreciate my desire to go. And then the Lord replies, Tvayoditam shobhanameva shobhane anahuta apyabhiyanti bandhushu shobhane. Oh, most beautiful damsel, you are right. What you say is right. Even uninvited, you can go to such places. Te yadyanutpadita dosha drishtayo baliyasa anatmyamadena manyuna. But you can go to such places where they will treat you well. Vidyatapo viktavapurvayah kulai sadangunai shadbirasattametaraih. There are people who are totally upset in their mind because of, he gives 6 reasons. These are applicable. Vidya, tapas, viktam, vapuhu, vayaha, kulaha. Vidya is education, scholarship. Tapas is spiritual greatness, tapas. Vitta, money, right, status. Vapuhu, health. Great. Vapuhu, vayaha, youth. Kulaihi, because of his kula, heritage. All these things are there with your father, no doubt. Vidya, tapaha, vittam, money, vapuhu, body, vayaha, youth, kula. But he is Brahma. Our creator is Brahma's son. So kula. So in all these things, satam gunai shadbi rasat tametarai. These are all there in your father, but he is gloated because of these. Even one of these can gloat people, but your father is gloated with all these 4. I have not forgotten what he told us some years ago. Yaktam tvamutkrishtagate prajapate priyatmajanamasi subrusammata athapi manam napitu prapatsyase madashrayakkaparisapyate yataham. You think by going there you will meet all your sisters? She has 9 sisters, 8 sisters, and their husbands, everybody will come there and so on. I know all that. Athapi manam napitu prapatsyase, but you won't be honored there. You are going to be disrespected there. You will not be welcome there. Not only you will not be welcome, you will be insulted. Madashrayat kaf parisapyate yataham. Therefore he says, Padam, these people, he is describing the people who are having such bad heart. Padam param dveshti yatha sura harim. Why do asuras hate Lord Vishnu? Asuras hate Lord Vishnu. Why? For no reason. Just like that. Padam param dveshti yatha sura harim. Like that your father is hating us and you want to go there. pratyudgama prashrayanabhivadanam vidhiyate sadhumitas sumadhyame prajñai parasmai purushaya cetasa guhashaya yaiva nadehamanine. Whenever he is trying to explain that scene where he did not stand up. You see, great people make obeisance and take salutations to other people when the other man is good in his heart. What they worship is not the outer body, it is what that is inside. And prajñai parasmai purushaya cetasa guhashaya yaiva nadehamanine. Guhashaya yaiva. What is there in the body? The spiritual truth, the spiritual Atman, that Brahman, that is being saluted, not for a person who thinks of his body as himself. Sattvam vishuddham vasudeva shabditam yadiyate tatra pumanapavritah sattve ca tasmin bhagavan vasudevo hyadokshayo me navasa vidiyate. Shloka number 23, chapter 4, skanda 4, 4.4.23. It's a very important shloka and greatly commented upon. Sattvam vishuddham vasudeva shabditam. Vasudeva shabditam. The Vasudeva Shabda, the word itself is purity personified. Sattvam vishuddham. Sattva personified. Yadiyate tatra pumanapavritah. What is there outside that is only a coverage for the person who is inside? The person who is inside is Vasudeva. Sattve ca tasmin bhagavan vasudevo. That is why we worship Vasudeva. That is why we worship Vishnu or everybody. Yadokshayo me namasa vidiyate. I always worship him in my mind. I don't have to get up or worship a human form who is totally egoistic or ego-minded. Yadit Brajishyas, in spite of what I am saying, if you go there, Yadit Brajishyas yatihara yamadvajo badram bhavatyana tato bhavishyati sambhavitasya svajanat parabhavo yada sasadyo maranaya kalpate. If you still want to go, if you go there, let me tell you, you are going to regret it later. You are going to regret it later. Now what will this sati do? Beautiful sloka. Yetavad, he did not finally say, don't go. He did not finally say, all right, you go to hell. He did not say that. He did not say either way. Right? Yetavaduktva virarama shankaraha. He said this and kept quiet. Yetavaduktva virarama shankaraha patringanasham yubayatra chintayan. Because he knew that either way the rishi is going to die. Patringanasham yubayatra chintayan. Suhridhidrikshu parishankita bhavan ishkramati nirvishati dvidasasa. She was in two minds. She took 3 steps forward because she thought, after all, you see, he is greatly compassionate. If I go, I can tell him that, you see, I cannot resist my going to my father's place. Therefore, I went there. He will excuse me. But then immediately she decided that, you see, I have told you and still you have gone there. So Shiva is Rudra, so when he gets angry, he can be totally angry and he may do anything. So let me not go. Like that she oscillated, vacillated between going and not going. Finally, her, what shall I say, heart and head, the heart prevailed and she went there. And Lord Shiva said to his Ganas, the whole host of Ganas, hey fellows, you simply follow her. Because something will happen there, you have to say. So, Taman Vagacchadruta Vikramam Satin Yakam Trinetra Anuchara Sahasrasaha. The entire host of Ganas followed her. As soon as she entered the Daksha's place, her father's place, immediately she realized. Because certainly her sisters and her mother Prasuti, they all welcomed her. But she did not see that sign of welcome in her father's face. Saudarvya samprashna samartha vartaya matracha matrishva surubhishcha sadaram dattam saparyam varamasanam cha sa Nadatta Pitra Pratinandita Sati Arudra Bhagam Tamavekshachadvaram. She was watching the Homa, the Yajna. The Homa was being performed. Arudra Bhagam, he has already taken, you see, these rituals are all already done. They are all known rituals. But Daksha has carefully monitored the whole thing in such a way that whatever is done to the Rudra is taken off from the mantras. So Arudra Bhagam, Rudra was not being given the necessary offering that to be done in the yaga. Arudra Bhagam Tamavekshachadvaram Arudra Bhagam Pitra cha deve kritahenanam vibhau anadrita yajna sadasyadishwari chukopaloka nivadakshati rusha. She got angry and made a big lecture. She immediately decided that this is not the place for me to be there. I should go back, or I should not even go back, because after all he has told me that I should not go here and I come here. I cannot face him anymore, so I am going to die here. But before I die, I will give, what is it? I will give a piece of my mind, what is it?
Yeah.
A piece of my mind to my father and the people here. And her piece of mind is 13 shlokas, wonderful Shiva stotra. Remember, this is Vishnu Grantha, Bhagavatam, Vishnu Purana, a Purana which upholds Vishnu, and the glory of Shiva is said by Sati in 13 shlokas here. I may not be able to tell you everything, so let me, Tasmin, okay. Doshan paresham hi guneshu sadhavo gandantike chinna bhavadrisha dvija. She is addressing her father. Dvija, hey Brahman, doshan paresham hi guneshu sadhavo. There are people who don't see the faults of others and only see the good in them. Certain type. There are people who see only the faults of the others and does not see the good in them. You belong to that category. Not only that, you belong to a lower category. Even the good things of the others appear as faults for you, and you are making a fault of everything that you see in the other. That kind of man you are. Dosham paresham bhi guneshu sadhavo gandantike chinna bhavadrishadvija gunamsya palgun bahuli karishnavo. The great people enlarge even the little gunas, good qualities that they see in others. They enlarge it. But on the other hand, you not only enlarge the little faults that you see, you have actually made faults out of the good things. All those things are there in the shloka. Gunamsya palgun bahuli karishnavo mahattama asteshva vidat bhavanagam. So great people, the greater people, the greatest people. Mahati, Mahattaraha, Mahattamaha. Three kinds of people are classified here. You belong to none of that, you are an Adhama, he says. And then he says, another 5-star shloka. Yadyaksharam nama jireditam drinam sakrit prasanga adagama shubhanti tate pavitra kirtim tamalanghya shasanam bhavanaho dveshti shivam shivetaraha. Dvaksharam, Shiva, just 2 letters, 2 syllables. Shiva. This Shiva, even if it is said accidentally, even if it is said as even not intended as Shiva, but in a long sentence, if the she and the va come one after the other in a different meaning, even then you are supposed to have done a great punya, because sakrit prasanga, even accidentally when it is said, adhama ashu hanti tat, it redeems you, it absolves you of all sins. Pavitra kirti, he is such a pavitra kirti. About his kirti, I don't have to tell. There are so many anecdotes, so many glories of Lord Shiva. Pavitra kirti, I mean, in our own, when we come to our times, we will know there is the story of Nandana, there is the story of Kannappa, there are the stories of all the 63 great Shaiva saints, and there are stories and stories in every Shiva temple where you go, you will hear his Pavitra Kirti. Pavitra Kirtim Tamalandhya Shasanam Bhavano Dveshti Shivam Shivetaram. You are hating that good word, that good person, Shivam. Yatpada Padmam Mahatam Manolibhernishevitam Brahmarasasavaartivihi Lokasya Yadvarshati Chashishotthinaha Tasmai Bhavam Drushyati Vishwabandave. You know, he is such a compassionate, great ocean of mercy that is why he is called Ashutoshi. Ashutoshi. You know, you all know Ashutosh Mukherjee of Bengal. That Ashutosh, because it is English, we read it in English, those of us who are not familiar with Bengali, we read it in English and we think it is Ashutosh Mukherjee. It is not Ashutosh, it is Ashutoshi. Shiva's name. Ashutoshi. Ashu means quickly, instantly, in a jiffy. Ashu. Toshi. He satisfies you in a jiffy. Ashutoshi. That is Ashutosh Mukherjee. Right? Anyway, Lokasya Yad Varshati. Therefore he uses the word. He showers mercy. He does not give you mercy. He is not merciful just like that. He showers. You see? Yad Varshati. So, there is a difference between giving and showering. Giving is dadati. You see, when we go to a bank, pass across the counter, a few dollars, few rupees, few currency notes, the other one counts it, and it's a business transaction. This is dadati, gives. Varshati means whatever he has, he simply pours, like the clouds. Clouds at a certain place, what does it do? It simply varshati. It simply showers. At that point, whatever water it has, it pours. So, lokasya yad varshati cha sishitthinaha tasmai bhavam drushyati vishwabandave. That the companion of the world, Vishwabandave, you have antagonized him. I have been told, she continues, her anger is not cooled down. Karnau vidhaya nirayadya kalpayi. So he says, whenever you hear of people insulting such great people like my Lord, whenever one hears insults like this, there are only two things you can do. Go back and strike at him and kill him. If you cannot do it, close your ears and go away. Close your ears. Karnau vidhaya nirayat yala kalpayise. If you cannot immediately go and fight with him and kill him, close your ears and go away. Finally, he also gives the explanation of that incident. Remember, he is a great Brahmajnani. He is Brahman himself. Swatmarama. Oh, regarding the Naranarayana story, I should have told you something else. I will tell you, I have kept it here. That's why I have written this certain things I should tell you, but I forgot. Yonta Sukontara Ramaha Tadantar Jyotidevayaha Gita. Antasukha, that is one who revels in the Lord who resides within. Yonta Sukha, Antararamaha. He is pleased within himself. Antararamaha, Yonta Sukontara Ramaha Tadantar Jyotidevayaha Antarjyoti. So, that kind of Brahmajnani, that kind of Brahman, he is Brahman himself, Brahman itself. He is that. So, why should he bow to you, who is only an egoistic person? Navedavadananuvartate mati swayeva loke ramato mahavune yatagatit deva manushyayo pratat swayeva dharmena param chipitsita. Therefore she says, this body of mine is contaminated because if I go back, sometime he is going to call me. Of course, he usually calls me Sati, but sometimes he is going to call me Dakshayani. The moment he says Dakshayani, I am going to regret it that I have been Daksha's daughter, this person's daughter. I am not going to keep this body. I am shedding it right here. And what she did, she went and sat right in the center of that yajna hall and closed her eyes and sat in samadhi, invoked Varuna and fire, and she was simply consumed in the flames that arose from her yogagni. News went to Lord Shiva. There are people, the Ganas have come, they went back, and immediately Lord Shiva created from his hair a Virabhadra, a great giant type of Gana, this Veerabhadra came with a lot of retinue and simply smashed to pieces the entire Yagashala and all the people here. Is a complete chaos, everything in that, and even Daksha's head was severed and put into the flames. Like that. So the yaga was over. But later, years after this, all the devas, all the rishis went to Lord Shiva, praised him, glorified him, and told him all these details, where they were eyewitnesses, in the sense that they were all present there, and so told him, and they asked him to come and redeem Daksha from his death and excuse everybody else. So finally that was done. Rudra was pacified. He came back and the yaga was resumed. This was several years, after hundreds of years, several years, the yaga was resumed and the yaga was finished. But Daksha was given only a temporary life, for the purpose of that yaga. The yaga was, the great Brihaspati Sava was finished. Sati herself was born later as Parvata, Himavat Parvata's daughter, Himavan's daughter, as Parvati in her next birth. And that story goes on in the other things. Okay. This is Daksha Yajna story. Leave aside the story part. The idea here is that whether it is Shiva or Brahma or Vishnu, this is all the same absolute Lordhead. Because you know, in the Rudradhyaya, which occurs in Krishna Yajurveda, you know, Rigyajus, Sama, Atharva, of the three Vedas, Yajus is in the center, Yajurveda. And in the Yajurveda, there are 7 kandas. In the 4th kanda, that is which is in the center. In the 4th kanda, there is the 5th prashna, which is the center. And within that, there is a center. The word is Namah Shivaya. The Namah Shivaya Panchakshara is enshrined as the central word in the entire Vedic literature, as the central word. It is something like kept in a secret box amidst great protection of all these things. So Namah Shiva, the Shiva word is so great, and the greatness of Shiva is what we should understand from this Daksha story. The other thing that I forgot to tell you about the Naranarayana story is an interesting tidbit which you would like to know. Naranarayana, in his form of Naranarayana in the Badrikashram, when he was doing that great tapas for 1,000 years, this Indra and others, the Devas, did not wanted to create obstacles for the tapas, because Indra is always afraid that somebody is doing tapas in order to get his seat. So he is always sending his Apsarasri and other people to disrupt and disturb and actually put an end to the tapas that is being done in Bhuloka. So he said to the people, and Narayana, without knowing, it is Lord Vishnu himself who is descended on earth and doing the tapas. So he created, hey, you fellows are trying to distract me by sending all these beautiful damsels here. I can create the most beautiful damsel in the world, and you would be simply, you would have to hang your head in shame. And here is that. He created Urvashi. And come on, now I will make a present of this to Indra, go back with all your retinue. That was how Urvashi was created, and she went back, and Indra was keeping quiet thereafter. This is a side story, if you like it. You know, in Reader's Digest they have a small story there. Like, it's a tidbit. Urvashi was created that way. Anyway, so that is the story of Daksha Yajna. After that, let me see, yeah. After that, we go to we continue the Swayambhuma. Now again the history. Swayambhumanu, he had got 2 sons and 3 daughters. We took the 3rd daughter, Prasuti, Daksha, etc. Now we come to Uttanapada, the 2nd son. Uttanapada, the 2nd son. Uttanapada had two wives. Okay, Suniti and Suruchi. You know what I am going to tell you now. Dhruva story. Dhruva story. I am starting Dhruva story because next week I am going to tell you Dhruva Stuti, which are 12 shlokas, which are greatly Vedantic. I am going to devote the entire next lecture to Dhruva Stuti, 12 shlokas. In fact, I am going to ask you to download the 12 shlokas which is in my website. I will give you the web address to Sriram. You can see that. And you will come with the text, and so we will be able to follow that, because we are going to do it in detail with all the shlokas. Now I am heading towards that. So Dhruva story and what is it? Uttanapada, Swayambhu Manu's second son. Uttanapada was the king, and he had two wives. Actually he had only one wife, Suniti, and later he married Suruchi, the second wife. The second wife put conditions on that marriage. You must discard your first wife, Suniti. You must not only discard her, you must not see her. You must not give her any status. Everything, all the corollaries, on that, etc. But it so happened that both of them conceived in the same, at the same time, so to say, so that they both had sons almost at the same age. The son of Suniti, the first wife, is called Dhruva. The son of Suruchi was called Uttama. Dhruva and Uttama, the sons. But Dhruva was growing up in a poor, what you call a donated home, because Suniti was kept in the forest. She was not was supposed to be living in the palace. She was discarded according to the condition agreed to with Suruchi. When he was 5 years old, Dhruva grew up as a very good boy with his mother. She was a very noble lady, therefore the orthodox style, worshipping, bhajan, what have you. So like that, Dhruva learned from his friends, and again, because of that prompting, finally from his mother, that the king who was the king of that country was his own father. So he went back, and when he went along with his friends, and he went to the king, somehow he was admitted in. He was going there, sitting there, a flight of steps. He rose up, he went there, and wanted to climb up to the lap of his own father, the king, where already in one lap, Uttama, of the same age, was sitting. Suruchi replied, immediately interrupted that thing and said, "Don't attempt to climb the lap of the king. You have no right. You have to be born in my womb in order to do that. So go back, do tapas, go and pray to the Lord that you should be born next time as my son. Then you can do that." The child was naturally, 5-year-old child, was naturally totally upset, shocked, frustrated, and did not know what to do. The queen, Suruchi, the king is not opening his mouth because of the agreement between him and Suruchi. Of course, later Shukabramam says, this is the Maya of the whole thing. You see? Because the Lord has planned it. Dhruva is going to become one of the greatest stars of the whole world. Dhruva. And he is going to give you Dhruva among the great devotees of the Lord. Dhruva is counted as one of the foremost. So when Orthodox people talk about this, they will say Dhruva Swami. I am saying Dhruva as a boy. He, like that. They will say Dhruva Swami. They will not refer to him as a great Swami, because he is going to be such knowledgeable. You will see that. So Dhruva, he was pushed down the stairs, a flight of steps. So he went back crying to his mother. So the mother's advice to this 5-year-old child Dhruva is a Vedantic advice. 5-year-old. He has not even got his Aksharabhyasam. He doesn't know how to pronounce his own name, how to spell it, like that. Matussapatnya sadurutya siddhashvasan rushadandahato yatahi hitvaamishantam pitaram san avacham jagamamato parunam sakasham. So she says, Mamangalam tata pareshwamam stha, Mamangalam tata pareshwamam stha. Do not hate the people who have apparently done bad to you. Ma mangalam tata pareshwamastha, ma amangalam tata pareshwamastha. Bhukte jano yat paradukkadastate. We are thinking that happiness and misery are coming to us from others. Not so. Little child, a 5-year-old child is being taught. Satyam suruchya abhigatam bhavan me. What Suruchi said to you is right. Yadurbhagaya udare grihitaha. You have committed a great error. You have been born as my son. That was your mistake. And that for that you are not responsible. So nobody is responsible. So you see, it is our fate that is responsible. Therefore, she says, Aradhaya adokchaya padapatmam. Therefore, the only way in which you can get out of this is not to hate them, not to have vengeance with them, not to do something against them, but to go and pray to the Lord. Aradhaya adokshaya padapatmam yadichase adhyasanam uttamo yata. The Uttama's seat, if you want to get it, Uttama is the other son. Uttama's seat, if you want to get it, you better go and Aradhaya adokshaya padmanabham. Yasyangri padmam panicharya vishwa vibhavana ayatta gunabhipatte. Anybody, nobody who has ever worshipped the Lord intensely and devotedly has ever gone to misfortune. Yasyangri padmam panicharya vishwa vibhavana ayatta gunabhipatte. Tameva vatsashraya bhritya vatsalam. He is a bhritya vatsala. He is devoted to his devotees. Bhritya vatsala. Mumukshubhir mridya padabja paddatim. Ananya bhave nija dharma bhavike. Manasya avastapya bhajasva purusham. Don't meditate, don't pray to him that you should go back and sit on your lap with your father. That should not be your intention. Motivelessly, just to worship him, you will have good things. You will have to worship him. Nanyam tata padmapada shalochana. There is no other way. Dukkachidam. For the eradication of our misery, there is no other way. Yo mrigyate hasta grihita padmaya. Who is the example to us? The Lord, the goddess Lakshmi herself is example to us. Goddess Lakshmi is portrayed as having a padmam in her hand. And you know why? To offer it to the feet of the Lord all the time. Because when she is certainly residing on the chest of the Lord, but when she wants to see him in full from afar, from her own place, he is not available easily. So whenever he comes, he may not stay there even for a second or so. Therefore she at that time she doesn't want to go and look for flowers. She keeps the flowers in her hand. This is a poetic way of saying that she is ready to offer her obeisance to the Lord, and like that. So we should be ready to do this. So go and worship the Lord. But the great mystery, Ascharya. What is the translation of Ascharya? Great surprise. All right. The great surprise of the whole story is the lady advising her 5-year-old son to go and worship and do the tapas, as Suruchi said. That is the surprise. The child accepted it and went away to the forest. That is the surprise. Right? Took the word seriously and did that. And the greatest surprise of all was the next. As soon as he walked out of the city, Narada comes before him. Narada comes before him and teaches him. First he tries to dissuade the child, the 5-year-old child. Hey, what are you doing? little fellow, just because your stepmother told you these things, you immediately lost your head like this. Do you think where you are going? To a forest. In the forest there are wild animals. They will eat you. They will swallow you. What will you do there? There will be total darkness. There will be nobody there. It will be all desolated. Why are you going there? He says all that. In order to test his bhakti, his mind. What is it? But the child replies, I thought you were an old man. I thought you would help me to find out where Narayana is, because the child does not know what is Narayana, how to worship Narayana, what to do, where to find him. So Narada says, all right, so I will now tell you. So he teaches him. Narada teaches Dhruva right there in a few shlokas, beautiful shlokas, and tells him how to meditate, where to go, to Madhuvana, on the banks of the Yamuna, to Madhuvana. You go there, you can do the tapas there, and eat some fruits there, and that place will be desolate, no wild animals will be there, you will have peace there, the place itself is sacred, do your tapas there. But again, Dhruva asks, I have not seen Narayana. How do I recognize him? And so, Narada describes, Prasadabhimukam shashvate prasanna vadane kshanam sunabham sunasam subruvam charu kapolam surasundaram. He goes on for 8 shlokas. It's the simplest shloka, one of the simplest portions of the entire Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is always very esoteric and very difficult to understand. The words are very powerful and difficult. But here, probably because he was teaching a little child, so he uses simple words. Prasadabhimukam, always with pleasant face, smiling face. Shashvati, prasanna vadane kshanam, the brightest face that you can see, the brightest eyes that you can see. Sunabham, sunasam subruvam charu kapolam, the cheeks are fleshy, they will be good. Surasundaram, you most beautiful that you can ever have. Tarunam ramaniyangam, all the limbs are attractive. Arunoshte kshanadharam, the eyes are red, the lips are red. Pranatashrayanam, he gives refuge to anybody who surrenders to him. Nrimnam Sharanyam Karunarnavam, Shivatsankam, Ganashramam, Purusham, Vanamadinam, the Vanamadi garland. Shanka Chakra Gada Padma, he will have 4 hands. Shanka Chakra Gada Padma, Shanka Chakra Gada Padmai, Abhivyakta Chadurbhujam, Kiritinam, Kirita, Kundala, right? Keyura, Valayanvitam, Kaustuba, Avaranagrivam, Pita Kausheya Vasanam, the silken Angavastra, Kanchi Kalava Padyastam, the waistband, and then the anklets, Kanchi Kalapa Padyastam, Dasat Kanchana Nupuram, Darshaniya Tamam Shantam, Mano Nayana Vardhanam. Every time you see him, you will feel like seeing him again. You will see him, you will feel like you cannot take your eyes off. Like that. Padbhyam Nakhamani Shrenya. In the Ramanuja story, I don't know whether I have told you this, perhaps I have told you during the Gita lectures time, but it is worth repeating. In the Ramanuja story, Ramanuja was being along with his Shishyas, was going with his Shishyas in Srirangam. And in the Utsava times, when the festival times, the Lord is taken a great palanquin with all sorts of Sriranga Maha Vishnu decoration is always very beautiful. So greatest decoration, Doddavahana, and he is coming there. So everybody is looking, the whole street, people gathered, they are full of people. They are all looking at the Lord. And Ramanuja also is going to meet that palanquin there with his Shishyas. On the opposite side, he sees boxer-like man, almost a ruffian, rowdy type of person, with a lady, beautiful damsel, and a lady, for whom he holds an umbrella, and with great care he is looking at her, and he is going in the street, in the opposite side. So Ramanuja said, who is that person? When everybody is looking at the Lord, he is looking at that woman's face alone, and he is not caring for the Lord. Yeah? After all this is over, bring that fellow to me and I want to talk to him. So that day he talks to him and says, why are you mad after a human being like this? There is the Lord going there, everybody is having darshan, you are not even looking at that, why are you doing this? He says, she is so beautiful, that's why I like her. So Ramanuja says, if I show somebody more beautiful than that, would you like him? Would you like him? Can you show somebody more beautiful than my name, sir? And he said, all right, come this evening at 10 o'clock in the night, I will show. So he, at 10 o'clock in the night, Ramanuja takes the Dhanurdasa is his name, takes Dhanurdasa with him, goes to the Srirangam temple, goes into all the prakaras, goes straight inside, final the Lord, Sanctum Sanctorum, Garbhagriha, Kshiradishayana, that Lord, that reclining glory of the Lord. Ramanuja says, look. He looked. But we don't know what he saw. But from that time onwards, he became a great devotee. Not only he became a great devotee, he made that other lady, that, his girlfriend, whoever it be, right? He made her also a great devotee, and both of them lived together under Ramanuja's house for a long time as a great devotee, great devotees. The other people were so mad after them, because look at this man. Yes, he is a boxer, ruffian, rowdy. Ramanuja, our Guru Ramanuja is keeping him. So then he had to tell them that they are the greatest devotees and so on. The story goes like that. So, that attractive form of the Lord, you and I have not seen it, except in pictures or in a deity temple like that. But that is what every devotee says. And here it is. So, Narada describes this and says, I will now give you a mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 12 letter, Dwadashakshari mantra. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Remember, this boy has not been even made the Upanayana. He has not got the Gayatri. He has not got anything. So Narada himself gives the Upadesha to this little boy. Remember, there are two people who got Upadeshas from Narada. One is Dhruva, the other is Prahlada. Dhruva got it directly from him. Prahlada got it in the womb when Narada was teaching his mother. And these two stories are two great stories in Bhagavatam. They are greatest devotees. In fact, Prahlada is the foremost, so to say. So Narada gives this Upadesha to him, and Dhruva goes to the forest and starts his tapas. In the meantime, Narada goes to the palace, meets the king, because the king, by a second thought, may run after the boy and bring him back. But Narada doesn't want it, because he knows there's a great future for Dhruva and great future for the world. Therefore, he doesn't want that to happen. And therefore, so he tells the king, don't go and disturb him, he's doing tapas, he's all right, he will come back. And this fellow, the king was regretting that he has not done anything, he has not even prevented his wife saying all those harsh words. So Narada says, don't disturb him, he will come back very soon with great glories, and he will do honor to the entire family. Dhruva's tapas, you and I cannot even imagine. Triratrante, Kapitta Badara Shanaha. Kapitta and Badara. That is the Kapitta Pala. What is the Kapitta Pala? I don't know the English. No, it must be here somewhere. This is Shloka number 72. Eating only some fruits like Kapitta and Badara. Blambadam, like English community. Kapitta na Blambadam. What is that?
I think it's called wood apple.
Wood apple, okay. So, the Triratrante, Kapitta Badara Shanaha. That was all what he did. You see, he sits in Samadhi and he comes out of his Samadhi. He is seeing the Lord as described by remember, 5-year-old child has been taught by Narada. Remember, you and I also, whatever we have been taught when we were 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, we remember that, and that thing goes deep into the mind. So nothing else has gone into Dhruva's mind. The first thing, Narada's teaching. So it is right there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He is keeping that. He is able to see Vasudeva inside him. And he is doing that. Triratramte. So he comes out of the Samadhi every third day. Triratramte, Triratramte, Kapitta Badarashana, Atma Vrityamsarena, Masam Ninye Chayan Harin. First month went by like this. The second month, Dutiyam Tata Masam, Shashte Shashte Bhato Dine, Trinapanna Adivihi. Every sixth day he was waking up from his Samadhi, just eating only leaves and things that have fallen from the trees. Tritiyam, that second month. Third month, Tritiyam Charanyamayan Masam, Navame Hani, every ninth day. Vayubhaksho Jita Ashwaso. He even did not spend time. Ambaksha, water. So he just drank a glass of water just nearby. Yamuna Thiram, went to the river, have a sip of water, came back and started the tapas again. Sritiyam Janayan Masam Navame Hani. Fourth month, every 12th day, he woke up. Vayubhaksho Niraharo. Now not even water, only Vayubhaksha. Panchame Masya Nuprapte. That is Vayubhaksha means a deep breath. Came out in Samadhi, a deep breath, and that's it, again Samadhi. In the Panchame Masya Nuprapte, Jitashvaso Nipatmajaha, not even that. The whole world came to a stop. Because Vayubhaksho Nirahara, Jitashvaso, he is not even breathing. He has held his breath like this. I mean, believe it or not, that is the story. This is a great tapas he has done. That is why the Lord comes down. I will take 5 more minutes before I finish this, because I want to stop at the place where Dhruva starts his stuti. And so the Lord comes. Madhurvanam Mritya Didrikshaya Gataha Didrikshaya. Didrikshaya. It is not as if Dhruva is calling the Lord now. Now the Lord wants to see him. Didrikshaya, drashtum ichha didriksha. The Lord wants to see. The Lord wants to bless. The Lord wants to this little child. He has been waiting for this. He has been waiting for this occasion to bless this little child. This great Dhruva Swami. He has become a great sage already now. The Lord waiting to see his devotee. In Ramakrishna's life you will see that I have been waiting for my Shishyas. Where are they going to come from? He stands on the roof of the temple and says, come on, where are my Shishyas? For a long time. Then finally these Shishyas start arriving. You read Ramakrishna's life and message, you will note that. So this happens. This happens to the Lord also. The Lord also waits for us. Didrikshaya, he comes. In the Kali Yuga, in the Marathi heritage, there is a beautiful, is there any Marathi friend here? In the Marathi heritage, there is a beautiful story of Pundarika. Pundarika Vada. This man is a total Nastika, not respecting his father, mother, nothing. His father and mother got totally frustrated with him and they said, all right, we will go to Kashi, and they went on a yatra to Kashi. He would not, he is a rich man, but he would not even give money to the father. So they walked all the way, they went on. They are going. Finally, this fellow had certain thoughts. He thought that he will also go to Kashi, but he is rich. So he engaged a horse cart and started. So as he went along, this is, you have to imagine some place in Maharashtra to Kashi. So that all that distance. Halfway through, he saw his mother and father walking along. He did not care for them. He went along. He went forward. Came almost near to Kashi. Somewhere he had to have rest. So he rested at a place near Yamuna and ashram. At that night, in the morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever, he looks through the window. In the next house, which looks like an ashram, 3 beautiful, no, I should not say, I am overstepping. 3 dancers, 3 ladies, completely ugly, I mean, in tatters, they are going in. in the other next house. He sees them. He's curious. He's watching. After an hour or so, they come out, but as very beautiful damsels, beautifully dressed. It's all ornaments, bright and shining. They were going out. He was curious. Hey, three ugly people went in. Now they are such beautiful ladies are going out. What is this? So he followed them and asked them this question. Please explain. What is this? I saw you going in ugly and you came out beautiful. What is this? They said, stay away from me, from us. Don't come here. You are a papi. You are a sinner. You have not even given proper respect to your father and mother. So you deserve to go to hell. Don't come to near me. We three are Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. You see, every day people come like you, come and dip in our waters and we take all their sins. And we have to throw off all those sins somewhere. That is why we are coming here and going back fully refreshed as a Punyatma. And then he said, who is the Punyatma who is purifying you inside? What is he? So they say, he is a Kukkuta Maharishi. He is such a great man. And they say, he is nothing great. He is not a rishi that way. He worships his father and mother so entirely, devotedly, 24 hours, all the time, that he is doing the greatest tapas in the world. And we come here, he for his puja, for all his things, we just do some accessory duties like drawing the column and other things, and sweeping the place, cleaning the place, and making arrangements for the puja. We do all this, and then we go back like this. This is what happens. This fellow suddenly got enlightened. Worshipping, doing duties to father and mother, can it be so great? I will go back and bring them. So he comes back and catches hold of his father and mother. He forgets Kashi, brings them home and does total duty, dedicated duties to his father and mother. Every 24-hour duty. You can imagine what are the things he is doing. But at every time, every little moments, he is saying Narayana, Pandarinatha, by his, as an offering to the Lord. So the Lord comes and stands at the door of the house and says, Pundarika, come out. But he is attending on his father. So he is not wanting to interrupt his duty. So he says, I am not going to come out now, I have to finish my work with my father, then only will come. But still, as a guest who has come, whoever who has come here, come and take this seat, and he throws out a brick. 6 inches by 2 inches by 4 inches. Brick. Just throws it. The Lord steps aside because it may hit him. This is there in Bhakta Vijaya story. This is a great Maratha story. Beautiful Bhakta Vijaya story. The Lord steps aside, but still the devotee has given his seat, and therefore he wants to stand on that. But he doesn't hold 2 feet of the Lord, so he puts 1 foot there, and the other foot he crosses on this feet, and because in order for the balance, he keeps like this. That is the Pandarinatha's stand even now. He stands like that for hours until the Bhakta comes. Bhakta Didrikshaya. Finally he comes and he gets the boon. Oh Lord, you have done so much for me, you are standing like this. Now, will you please change the name of this place? Oh, I think it was the name of the place was something else at that time. The name of this place by my name, so that people will remember my this story and my duties to my father and mother. That is why it is called Pundarikapuram. That has become Pandripur now. Pundarikapuram. And even the river which was flowing, Bhima river, which was a great, fierce river, torrential river, Bhima river. That is why the name Bhima, and it curved to go by this temple, to go by this place where Pandarinatha stood. So it is curved like that, like an Ardha Chandra. That is why it is today called Chandrabhaga river. Chandrabhaga river, not the Bhima river. And so this Bhritya Didakshaya, in order to see his devotee, the Lord comes and waits for him. So he comes and stands before him with the Shanka, Chakra, Gada, Chaturbhuja, everything. But this little boy does not open his eyes. Because he is seeing Vasudeva inside. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's still going on. So he doesn't open his eyes. The Lord is stunned. What does he do? He, by his Maya, erases the figure within. Suddenly he does not see the figure inside. He opens his eyes. He sees the Lord. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. His language capability is so little, so he cannot say something. He doesn't know what to say. Even if he wants to say something, he doesn't know how to say it. He doesn't know how to pray, how to sing, how to sing a psalm of glory or anything. He simply makes a Ashtang Pranam, stands up, and the Lord touches him with his Shankha on the right cheek. Lord touches him on the right cheek. And immediately he pours forth, Yontah pravishya mama vachamimam prasuttam sanjeevayatya kil shakti dharaswadhamma anyam shashasta charana shravanatvagadhin pranam namo bhagavate purushaya tobhyam. Starting from that, 12 shlokas, beautiful shlokas, Vedantic info. Because now the Lord is talking through him. That's what he says. Oh Lord, you have made me speak. You are sitting in my heart. You are moving my hands. You are moving my feet. You have made me speak. And the Lord speaks through him. So the Lord is singing a psalm of glory to himself, like that. Dhruva Stuti. We will see it next time. As I told you, I will give the website address. I have commented a little on the Dhruva Stuti in that website, but we will have a more elaborate commentary here when we talk about it. Usually Bhagavata lectures, they won't have time to spend so much time on Dhruva Stuti. They will simply say he is praised by 12 shlokas, and first shloka, what just now I said, they will interpret it and then go forward. There are 12 shlokas. These 12 stand for 12 Adityas. 12 sons, Aditya, Mitra, Ravi, Surya, Bhava. The 10th name is Savita. So the 10th shloka there is dedicated to Savita. Therefore it is the meaning of Gayatri. All these things I will explain next time. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisho go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. A few minutes of questions.
So who created him? Brahma created him also?
You see, asuras are created from where, you see, Brahma has moods. Brahma is in a sattvic mood, the devas are created. Brahma also is in a rajasic mood. At that time, whatever creation takes place, they are asuras. These asuras, some of them do a lot of tapas and get the boons from Brahma. Just as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu did. Just as Ravana and Kumbhakarna did.
Question. Many characters portrayed have had multiple wives and things like that. Hinduism, does it have a position on one man, one wife, anywhere?
Hinduism is the religion made by these people.
So when did that change?
It's not a question of changing. It's a cycle. Every time there are shastras written like that. And so when you say it has changed,
Because
somebody has made a rule, only the government has made the rule. The Hindu religion says Ekapatni Vrata, like Rama, is the right thing to do. But Kshatriyas have been permitted a lot of wives like that. You will never see a Brahmin having several wives. Kshatriyas have been permitted number of wives and so on. This is very difficult to justify these things. There is no question of justification. This is history, this happens. That's all. So you cannot find. So when the Dharma Shastra, the rules are made for the particular time. Right now, whatever holds is the Dharma Shastra summarized. That is Yajnavalkya who has made this Smriti, Manu has made this Smriti, this Manu has made this Smriti, all those things. This Manu Smriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, Parashara Smriti, there are several Smritis. From these Smritis, people have extracted, and a book goes by the name of Vaidyanatha Dikshidiyam, which is there is something in Gujarat, something in Tamil Nadu, something in Andhra, something in Bengal. There are different kinds of Smritis, and nowhere I think it says that you should restrict yourself to one wife. But it says you must be loyal to your wife. Everywhere. Everywhere. And Kshatriyas have been specially encouraged to marry several wives.
Don't know why.
We don't know
Maybe because we are warriors, you're supposed to
why.
have
Whatever. Their sons will die and several.
Yeah, so
Like,
they have
all sorts of things. You see, you can go on scientifically justifying these things. It's very difficult to justify. It's a different field altogether. In fact, I don't know good answers to these things.
Yeah, it's almost never the other way. One lady having multiple husbands. That's, you don't see that. One exception, I think, right? Yeah.
Yes? You have wish?
Kunti's sons are at least born to different personalities, at least, right? So,
And also, that was purely a kind of a miraculous,
right.
it's a kind of a srishti. See, when she says a mantra, the Lord comes before her, and immediately she is conceived. That's all there is. And gets back her virginity. Well, you cannot believe that. If you believe that, you should also believe that. If you believe that man can come and immediately you are conceived, then you should also believe that she goes back to her virginity. So it is better not to look at the actions of these people. We have only to listen to their words. Great men, you cannot go by their actions. You cannot justify them, you cannot follow them, you cannot imitate them, you cannot mimic them, you cannot do anything like that. Not only Krishna, but all these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to go by their words. You are going to see the greatest Brahmajnanis. You saw Kapila, you are going to see Dhruva just a little way. Dhruva is going to have 2 wives, by the way. This Dhruva is going to live for 36,000 years, 2 wives, and so on, so on. But, so you see, but you are going to see next, anyway I will tell you also my program. What is it today? This is the 5th lecture, right?
Yep.
There are 4 more. Next one will be Dhruva Stuti. The next will be Jadabharata Upakhyana. Jadabharata Upakhyana, from whom the name Bharat comes to India. Then the next one will be Ajamila Upakhyana, Ajamila story. And then Prahlada. I am going to stop with the Prahlada story, which is the 7th skanda. So 7 skandas we will finish. 5, 6, 7 in the next 4 lectures.
So the Sati story, even though it's a story at some other level, it's also referring to what goes on in the mind of a woman when she has to move from a father's house to a husband's house and so on.
You are right. The question is Sati's story not allegorical in the sense that it reflects what happens in a feminine mind in those circumstances, things like that. In fact, in one Ashtotra or one Ashtotra, I think, of Devi, it says, come on, Dakshayani Veshadharayai Namaha. Dakshayani Veshadharayai Namaha. Lamba. Dakshayani Veshadhara. She is Dakshayani. But it says Dakshayani Veshadhara. Vesha is a kind of an acting. You are taking the role of Dakshayani and you are doing what Dakshayani does. So it is like something like an acting, a play. And she is unaffected by all your Advaita things will come there. So the Mother Goddess has demonstrated to us what a feminine mind would work at that time and how they would behave and how they ought to behave. Okay. But again you see it is very difficult to go by everything that she does because she is able to sit there and get her yoga and immediately consume herself in flames. You and I cannot do that, you see. We are talking of such great souls and such great beings. So it is very difficult to analyze such things. But you are right. In fact, Pauranikas, great expositors of Bhagavatam, you use this story to tell this is the feminine mind, they keep on saying that. They keep on saying. Yeah, yes.
You were mentioning also that, of course, asuras are created, in certain moods of karma, etc. So, is it that, some of them you also mentioned have, great tapasya, and of course the Prahlada story is the greatest example of, somebody who has such great nobility and everything, but he's born as an asura, and I guess he is, you can consider him an asura only by birth at least. But so is it to say, again, looking at an allegorical sense, that if you are born in a certain way, by mind and by nobleness, you cannot transcend what you are essentially born with? I don't know if there is...
No, you have to transcend them if they are they are ignoble, they are bad. Bad vasanas we have got to transcend. Bad genes you have got to overcome. Right? But it is the greatness of Prahlada. None of the bad genes worked on him. He was a kind of a totally miraculous birth. He had 4 brothers, 3 brothers. None of them followed him. He was the only brother of the 4 who did all that. So he is God's creation that way. Similarly, in these stories, now and then they say he had this son, this daughter, but this son became a Brahmajnani, therefore no issues. He never married, he became a Brahmajnani, he went for tapas. Like that, now and then they say that. I am not telling you all those things because there are lots of details like that.
Yeah, just I guess my question was more, just because you created an asura or just because you're born as a deva does not mean you are bad or good. Because even Indra himself has done a lot of bad things.
You are right. You are right. It does not mean that. We ourselves have got both aspects. Our own mind changes from minute to minute, and one time it looks like a Deva Buddhi, at another time it looks like a Asura Buddhi. I mean, we never, even I can think of such things, one gets such kind of thoughts, you see, because of the vasana. That is, they are inside. They are inside. Okay? स्वस्य प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. Thank you.